Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's energy update. Really excited to share what's channeled for us this week. We have a really amazing week full of revelation, full of forward progress, and I really just feel like this might be a long one. So I'm going to try to keep this as concise as possible, but there was so much that wanted to channel for this week and so much that we have to go into. So just as a quick overview, we're going to be going into these themes of release. So releasing old programs, joyous news awaits, keeping things simple, finding a new way of moving through obstacles and challenges, and releasing hope over things now lost, and forgiveness in all forms. So we have some really powerful themes that are happening this week, and maybe you've been noticing this as well the past few weeks. This just very interesting energy, sometimes very challenging energy. A lot of us have been really overcoming some big, deep soul wounds and some big challenges that perhaps have been vicious cycles in our lives. And they're just showing me this full circle of completion that is happening and that is underway. And for some of us has already occurred. So of course, take what resonates for you here, but really bringing acknowledgement to this week is important. There's a lot about recognition of our journey, a lot about needing to take time in silence to really contemplate the journey thus far, but also what's to come. And getting that clarity this week is going to be really imperative. So let's dive into this first theme of releasing old programs. So releasing the power guilt and hurt holds over you. Letting go of any hurt feelings that serve no one. Do what is best for the good of all, including you. Conflict resolution in the heart, freedom from past pains that kept you small. It's time to see your greatness once and for all. You are meant to live big. Make the adjustments needed in your life to do so. Now the things that you do will take root as you begin to believe in yourself. Saying no to the bullies in your mind, saying no to the protection of the ego to find your own way. You are the light bringer, the bringer of new revelations. You are a light in the storm. How are you being called to step up and lead? How are you being reminded to see things clearly without filtration? You are a leader. Lead. Self-confidence through God confidence. So let's pause there. So absolutely amazing opener here. And it was really interesting because I was like, well, don't we need a little bit more information on this releasing of old programs? And I was like, nope, this is all we need. And so this was really interesting to me because it seemed like that was very secondary, even though this was a major theme that was coming through this week, was releasing. But the key here is that word, we're letting it go. We're releasing these old programs. So it really kind of was showing me by this energy and the way that this channeled was this is going to be more secondary. And more importantly was this emphasis on stepping out of those programs and into this new leadership space in your life. And this was absolutely incredible to me because we have spent so much time the past few weeks or even years for a lot of us on this healing journey that it's like we have to go in and grind. We have to go in and look into the wounds. And yes, that might come through, but they're really showing me how we've got to start having this mindset of that is leaving. That is being released. I'm not going to stay here longer than necessary. I'm going to focus on what's happening next, what I'm ready to birth and move into now. So they're really bringing this awareness of living big. So many of us have stayed small and stayed safe in the protection of our egos, in this real specific cycle of like, well, you know what, I need to do this because XYZ. So they're kind of showing me how we've been living a life full of excuses, where it's like we've held ourselves back for other people. We've held ourselves back because we thought we didn't deserve to have more. We held ourselves back because of all of these programs and all of these old hurtful conflicts that have occurred. And so I thought that was interesting how they put we're getting conflict resolution in the heart, because last week we had this huge awareness of the head and the heart being in conflict with each other. And now it's like this awareness of, where are you now in conflict with your heart? Where are you actually going, oh, can I do this or can I not? Should I stay back and, stay safe, or should I go into this? And it's like, once more, I keep hearing like the heart wants what it wants. So what is in conflict with what your heart desires? And where are you still in resistance to what it is you really, really want in your life? And how can you bring awareness to that week, or to this week, and have this moment of clarity and go, oh, it's this thing, it's this belief, this old program, and this is what I've got to release. And what they're really bringing awareness to is this program of, I need to stay small and safe. I need to hold back because of XYZ. So look at those excuses you are making and really get into this leadership role of your life and go, you know what? I'm going to release this now. I'm ready to feel the wounds. I'm ready to feel perhaps the injustice you've endured, that have maybe you felt you were stuck. Maybe you felt certain individuals in your life were keeping you stuck or not allowing you to move forward. And this is where they're kind of showing me like removing the hurt feelings, because once more, they're really bringing this awareness around family or organizations or, certain things that made us feel stuck, and needing to release that hurt. Because when we are told certain stories about our lives, about ourselves, and we hold on to them, there's going to be this resentment built in the heart. There's going to be this hurt that's built from being held back from your desires for so long. So look into that. Where is that? Who is that directed to? Is there any blame that's still lingering in the heart towards others, towards whatever this thing was that was holding you back from living life large and stepping into the role you know and you need to step into, and getting that clarity? And don't be surprised if it comes up that it's yourself. Some of us are going to have this awareness of being like, oh my gosh, when I get down to the real truth and the real nitty gritty, it's me. I'm the one who's been holding myself back this whole time because I was scared, or because I wasn't at that point of evolution to see this full picture yet. So this is where forgiveness and acceptance in our journey is going to have to come in as well this week. But once more, don't focus all your energy on that this week. Get this clarity. Do and feel what you have to do and feel, but then let's move into this new chapter, because we're not going to live in that past anymore. We're going to forgive ourselves for however long we procrastinated stepping into this new role, stepping into our new life, and we're now just going to start. Okay? So they're like, there's no point beating yourself up over this. There's no point in holding on to past conflict and hurt. Like, it's time to move on. It's time to let it go so we can step into our greatness. This is what needs to take priority. So see your greatness once and for all. You are meant to live big, okay? So where are you not living big? Once we get this clarity, it's going to be so eye-opening to us, and it's going to become very apparent where we're staying small. So this week, they're really giving us this push to look and analyze our lives and go, okay, where am I not free? Where am I still feeling insignificant? Where am I still feeling small? Where am I still feeling a victim to life? And where do I need to rise out of this? And where do I need to rise up and take control? Okay, so make the adjustments needed in your life. Like, this was really interesting to me, and they were kind of showing me that this was going to be simple because they don't want us to overanalyze to the point where we're overwhelmed. Okay, we don't want analysis paralysis. We want to simplify life and go, okay, what's one thing I can do today? What's one step I can take in the direction of my dreams? And we had this beautiful reminder last week. So go back to that. Like, okay, what are some little adjustments that are enable me to do this? And what can I do? What's in my power to do today? And to once more, not stress yourself out, not beat yourself up. We need to learn to look at these things through eyes of compassion and what's most loving for you and what's actually attainable for you as well. So they're kind of showing me like baby steps, make these little micro adjustments where you can, but get that clarity, like what needs to change. And a lot of us are going to get very strong downloads like, okay, cut this off. Okay, move on. Okay, let's get rid of this, right? Because a lot of these things have gone way past their due. And that's what they're showing me is a lot of these old mindsets, these old ways of living life, they got to end. They got to go. We're in the age of Aquarius. We need to be free. We need to be in these places of empowerment to make change, okay? So yeah, we're going to be super uncomfortable, but we have to learn to live with this uncomfortability and still keep ourselves in this space of grace and flow and flux, okay? So the other thing that I found super encouraging about what channeled here was this reassurance that what we begin now and what we start doing, these shifts and changes are going to take root. And they're kind of showing me this awareness around how things were built on an unsturdy foundation in the past and how we were building things on really a foundation that was falling apart. It's like that's why things weren't working. So a lot of us are going to have this enlightenment this week around that, like why things didn't work out, why we put all this effort in perhaps and it just fell apart, and how it really had nothing to do with you, right? You are so deserving of the best life ever, but it had to do with these old programs in which we were building upon. So take a look at that as well this week. Like, where have things fallen apart for me to rebuild a new foundation? So this really continues from the past few weeks here. So, but what's encouraging is the things that we finish up now, the things that we put our soul into now, the new foundation, right? The things we are building on love, the things we are building on confidence and God confidence now are going to take root. They're going to be a grounded foundation and we're going to be able to build from that. So they're really saying like, this is where we have to start acknowledging that change is going to happen and no, things are not going to uproot you like before. Things are not going to have that like analogy of the rug being pulled out from underneath you. That's not going to happen now, okay? And we have to reinforce this belief. This is not going to happen. I'm safe. I'm going to build from this new foundation and I am going to be just fine, okay? We have to keep reinforcing this, okay? So the adjustments that you make now in love and in compassion and true love for yourself are going to be long lasting. So say no to the bullies in your mind. Say no to the protection of your ego. And this is going to be so important because once more, they're kind of showing me how we've gone perhaps the traditional routes in our lives. Maybe we're like, you know what? I did everything right. I did everything I was supposed to do. You know, I built my life, I built my career, but now it's all in pieces. Okay, we're going to use that analogy or that example. You know, maybe things have all fallen apart, but it's like, but see how you followed the manicured path. How the path was like, yep, this is what you need to do, and you did that. But maybe that wasn't the right path for you. And you're seeing that that path didn't actually give you the fulfillment that was promised. Okay? And so they're showing me how a lot of us, we need to forge our own path. Like, yes, that might seem intimidating. Yes, the ego might immediately go, oh my God, that makes me feel extremely uncomfortable. But we have to understand, we are not here to play small. You're here to be a leader. And what does a leader do? A leader forges a new path. A leader shows people the way. You are the light bringer. You are the beacon. So that means you have to try things differently. You have to forge your own paths, your unique path. Stop trying to make things work on a path that is not meant to be yours. Okay? Because that is why things are falling apart. That is why things have fallen apart. So you can forge your own way. So they're really showing me how the traditional way, it's not your way. And that's why you're constantly feeling like you're failing. You're constantly feeling like the foundations won't stick, because the universe is going, no, stop trying to build there. That's not the right place for you. So where do we need to wake up and go, oh, okay, if I've tried this over and over and over and it's not working, then what has got to shift? What has got to change? What have I got to do differently? And once more, say no to all of those things that say that that's not right, that try to scare you. We need to protect ourselves from that. So this is where we're going to have to put in strict boundaries with ourselves, with our minds, with the people around us, and go, nope, I know this decision might seem crazy. As an example, maybe your intuition is saying, you need to go so left field and people are going to judge you for that. Well, you got to make up your mind now that that's what you're going to do. Even if it seems crazy, even if it seems illogical, if you know in your heart and your soul that's the direction you need to go, give yourself full empowerment in that. Give yourself this opportunity to seize a new way, because that is the only way that you're going to create a new life for yourself, is if you do something different. So have the courage this week to say no to the fear, to say no to whatever is coming up that is in conflict with this, to the manicured path, okay? Say no to that. It's time to forge your own trail. So once we do this, we have to really acknowledge that we're here to lead, okay? So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to forge this new path. So you're going to be the leader. You're going to be the one in front of this path, because nobody's walked it before. Nobody's, gone that trail. There maybe even is no trail yet. You have to create it. So you are now in this leadership role. So this is where we got to go. Okay, well, if I'm here to lead, what am I here to lead in? So how are you being called to step up and lead in your life? How are you being reminded to see things clearly without filtration? So once again, we need to remove the filter of self-doubt. We need to remove the filter of the shoulds and the shouldn'ts. We need to remove the filtration of the ego and see past the illusions we've previously held for ourselves that says, no, you can't do that. That's unsafe. No. Give yourself this opportunity to see what is actually true for you and take it. So I love how they're being very direct. You are a leader. Now lead. Okay? And this reminder, self-confidence through God confidence, right? So a leader isn't someone who never has fear. A leader is someone who builds their courage and does it anyway. A leader is someone who perseveres even through those times of struggle. And in fact, a good leader is someone who's experienced the full spectrum of all of it, right? I don't know about you, but I look for people who have gone through the ringer, because it's like they get it. They understand. They've built this resiliency, right? So when we look at these types of individuals, they're not people who've taken the manicured path. They're not people who have had a perfect, easy way a lot of the time. But these are the innovators we need to be looking at. So once more, it's like, trust your resiliency, Trust what you've come through. Trust the knowledge you've gained and you've learned. Like, keep looking at that. They keep kind of showing me to keep looking at your path and going, wow, I've come through so much and I've learned so much. This is going to help embolden your confidence and go, yeah, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I went through all this stuff. I certainly can do this. I can certainly start taking a chance on myself now. And reminding yourself, just like last week, you're not alone, okay? God is working through you. So all you have to do is be willing. All you have to do is keep calling on that strength, and you will persevere. Okay, so absolutely beautiful. So, so amazing. So then we move into this new theme, which is actually being there for your friends. This week, check in with your friends. Check in with the people around you. That's actually what a leader does as well. A leader checks in with all the people around them, the people that are following them, the people that they're with, right? A good leader cares about the people in their life. And they're kind of showing me like, leadership doesn't mean you're better than someone. Leadership just means you're showing people a new way, right? So remember that. But this week, we need to check in with our friendships. We need to check in with our loved ones. A lot of us have been going through a lot of tough change, huge change, and it can feel like we've been on an emotional roller coaster. So maybe we've been wrapped up in that. Maybe we've been really wrapped up in what we are currently experiencing, what we need to do, but they're kind of showing me someone with their head in the sand. So it's like, make sure you pop that head out and start looking around you and going, okay, great, I'm not alone in this. Other people are going through it too. So what can you do to show up for your friends? So this is what channeled. Be there for your friends. Check in. Show up. How can you be loved today? How can you remind them that they matter? You care, and they too can be a beacon of hope in the darkness. They can be the light when all other lights go out. And they were giving me this example of the candle in the dark, and some of us actually being the candle. So what that would look like is if you were the candle and you were looking around, all you see is darkness. You're not seeing that you are the light. So this is what a lot of us are going to feel like this week, is that we're maybe just looking around and all we can see is dark. We don't see any beacon of light. We don't see anything else but all of our circumstances, all of these issues. Maybe we have to look inward and go, maybe I'm the light. Maybe I need to stop seeking out the light elsewhere and start recognizing I have it within me. I can still shine despite any darkness. And this is the gift that a lot of you are going to be giving your friends, is this awareness to how they are the light and that they need to start recognizing this. So check in with your friends. If they're having a hard time, how can you show them that they might be the light? Okay? So remind your friends of weakness, showing them a new way, a way that erases all such thing as imperfection. They already are enough. Show them how you see them. Show them themselves through the eyes of love. They are so loved. Be that love today. Your love matters. I thought this was so beautiful because when I first channeled the line, like, remind your friends of weakness, I was like, what is this? This seems a little weird. But what channeled through was like, show them a new way. Because sometimes a lot of our friends, or even with ourselves, we can look at that and go, oh my gosh, like, I'm so imperfect. Look at all my weaknesses. Look at where I'm failing. Look at where things aren't working out. Look at where things are just falling apart. But like, can you remind them that they are perfect anyway? Right? Show them a new way. Show them themselves in the way that you see them. And I thought that was so beautiful, because how often do we hold so many standards for ourselves, so many false beliefs about ourselves, and when our friends come in, they remind us, like, that's not how we see you at all. Right? So we have this like filter on, and they're just showing me someone coming up and removing these glasses from the person's eyes and being like, no, this is you. This is you. You are perfect as you are. Stop looking at all your weaknesses. Stop looking and picking yourself apart. Stop being a bully to yourself. This is the truth. This is how I see you. This is how God sees you. This is how your guides see you. This is how love sees you. Isn't that the most beautiful gift you could ever give? Is helping someone see themselves as they truly are, right? Helping them see that they are the light, even when all they can see is darkness. We have to remind people of their goodness. We have to remind people that they are the true essence of unconditional love at the core, that they too can do it. So check in with your friends. Check in with the people you care about. Remind them how much they matter. Remind them how much you care, how much of a difference they've made in your life. People need to remember. People need these regular reminders, just like we ourselves do. So this week, if you find yourself really stuck or really stressed going through your own life, how can you take a beat and step back and go, how can I change this vibration and put the focus on others? How can I show up for them? Sometimes the acts of service that we do, well, all times, our acts of services, they echo out so much love, and that affects us too. We receive by giving as well. So where have you forgotten to give? Where have you been so focused inwardly that you've forgotten about the people that you're with, that surround you every day? Have you taken the time to go, hey, I love you. I don't know if I've told you lately, but I love you. I'm here for you. Please let me show up for you today. How can you do that? So I love how they're showing us this a beautiful recognition of perfectly imperfect. They are enough, and they need to feel that. They need to see that. Especially through this busy season. I feel like with holidays coming up, a lot of us are so busy. We're so into this commercialism, into all of these things we have to do. But remember, you don't have to do anything. You can make your own rules for life. Just because it's the holiday season, it doesn't mean it needs to be the stressful season. You can create a beautiful experience for yourself no matter what is happening. So slow down. Take time. Don't get caught up in all the shoulds and shouldn'ts. Don't get caught up on that perfect cookie cutter Instagram filter. No. Create your own experience and make time for the people you love. That's what this is about. So be loved today, and remember that your love matters. So they're really showing me how we need to focus on these small acts of kindness and focus on being of service this week. So how are you being called to do that? Is there a person that pops in your head as you listen to this reading? Is there someone you've been thinking about this past while? Can you check in? Even if you're in the line for coffee, can you pass a coffee along? Can you send a little love and light out into this world every day? What can you do to be love in this world today? And this immediately shifts our vibration to so much joy. I don't know about you, but even just talking about this, I'm like, oh, this is so wonderful. Like, it just changes your whole vibration. So how can you focus on giving this week? Okay? And seeing how much all these little efforts, all this little bit of love that you put out, it matters. And I don't know if I've shared this before, but there was a life that an individual that went through kind of like a near-death experience. And he said when he was on the other side, the guides that were around him showed him all the ways that his actions of love throughout his human life affected everyone else. And they showed him how everything he did mattered, and how some of the most seemingly insignificant acts of kindness changed certain individuals' lives. And I'm being called to share that as a reminder this week. Don't ever second guess your love and the power that it holds. The power of love, the power of kindness, it truly matters, and it can change lives. So remember that. When you come to the other side, when it's your time to transition, isn't that going to be the most beautiful thing to see? Is this replay of your life and seeing how all the things you did, how they had an impact, how they mattered, how you changed people's lives because you were you, because you were authentic, because you were true to the love that is inside of you. It's the most beautiful thought, isn't it? So think on that this week. If you're feeling downtrodden, think about how you can be of service and notice how that vibration totally changes. So from there we have hold still for what is to come. Arrange life in a new way. How can you be still, peaceful, adaptable, even through change? Embrace the unknown. You are safe. You are on a new journey, and trust that it has already begun. So this was interesting because at this point they were showing me how when we're still and we're meditating and we're going in, we're making so much shifts, like so many shifts in our energies, in our force, in our bodies, and that is huge. So if you're like, nothing's progressing in my 3D world, well, the inner shifts are what create the outer shifts. So they wanted me to really remind you of that this week. Do not get caught up on what is going on outside of you. Keep focusing on the inner changes that need to happen. Keep focusing on what it is you're ready to let go of. Because every time you let go and you shed these cycles that have really impacted your life, the more space is created and the more we're actually allowed to build on this new foundation of love, which is going to cause your complete 3D shift, okay? So if you're like, I don't know how to make this change in my life, go in. What can you shift inside? What's ready to be rebirthed? What is ready to move? What is ready to be released? Because that is what's going to echo out and make the change. So inner shifts create outer shifts. So this is what channeled next. 3D is a mirror. The 3D world is a mirror. What is your life showing you? Practice discernment. Be still. Sit by peaceful water. Study its flow. Watch as it clears and releases all woe and worry. Watch as water carves through any obstacle. Water creates its own path. Could you be of water? Can you take on its flow? Isn't that a beautiful thought? So this week we're really getting called to study water. Water is going to be the element this week that will really help us as we move through these challenges and changes. So literally be with water as much as possible this week. If you can go to a local river, stream, or if it's too cold, because I understand it's December, can you take a nice hot bath, regular showers? Like, what can you do to connect with this essence? Like even the vibration and the sound of water. So if you can listen to recordings of water, or if you have a little fountain, turn that on, like listen to water. Get into that element this week because it's going to be so helpful for you to start taking on and embodying those qualities. Water moves through anything. Water forges its own way. There's so much we can learn from that. So take time to do that and realize once more that this 3D world, it can change and shift at any time. And what it really matters when we get down to the nitty-gritty is what you're experiencing in your inner world. Because once more, what we believe, what we think, the actions we take, they're all based on belief systems we hold for ourselves. So if you shift a belief, you can live a total different experience. If you shift things inside, you can have a completely new life. And I love how they keep reaffirming this week, that we have already started. We've already created a new life. It's now just these shifts that need to happen. So take a look, like what in your 3D experience is not working, and go, okay, what is this a reflection of internally? Why am I manifesting this scenario? Because we really know now that our vibration is what creates manifestation. So take a look. What's in your vibration? What have you been believing? Like, when was the last time you literally sat down in stillness, in peace, and just observed what's going on inside you? Have you taken the time to sit with yourself and go, okay, what's going on inside me? Like, they're showing me how that's why it's so wonderful when we sit with friends, because we can share, and that's an opportunity and a time for us to actually express how we feel. But what about all the other times that we're not with our friends, that we're alone, or we're going through our day-to-day life? Can we be our best friend and go, hey, what's going on? How are you feeling today? Check in. Like, have you checked in with you? Have you sat down in stillness and just taken even 5 minutes to go, how are you feeling today? Like, some of the most simple things we fail to do for ourselves. So this is something we need to start cultivating, is this awareness of ourselves, this awareness of our bodies and our emotions and what's actually going on. And if we let ourselves do that without judgment, we can change our lives, because that is showing up for yourself in the most ultimate way. You're being your best friend every single day by checking in, by making the adjustments you need to make, by holding space for yourself with compassion and love. Like, could you imagine how that would change your life? Just by giving yourself space every day. You know, once more they give me this example of like a good friend and how we're like, I need to call my best friend. I need to talk to them. It's like, well, do you do that for yourself? Do you give yourself any space to just talk with yourself, to listen? Right? Be that for yourself. Take time. You deserve it. This is what's going to make the biggest shifts in your life, is when you start getting this awareness. What is going on within me? What is going on that needs to shift, that's ready to be let go? How can I stop ignoring my emotions, ignoring the call of my heart, ignoring the signals of my body? So give yourself the gift of stillness this week. And they're really showing me the importance of just observing, being an observer, right? That means we're not going to be biased. We're not going to go and uncover the dark spaces inside us and go, oh my God, let's cover that up right away. We're not going to go, oh my goodness, this is awful. I need to change. We're not going to give ourselves all this ridicule and self-doubt and smother ourselves in criticism. No. How can you hold space? How can you just observe? And they're kind of showing me the importance of intention with this work. So set the intention before you do this every day, or before you take the time to sit and just listen. Set intentions. I'm setting the intention now that I will just listen, that I will just observe, that I will hold the utmost compassion and love for myself as I do this inner work today. And if you struggle with this, call in your guides. Thank you, guides. Thank you, Spirit team, for helping me just be an objective observer, for helping me gain the clarity I need, for helping me know what it is I need to know that's going on within me. Show me the way, right? You don't have to do it yourself, ever. Like, this is one thing I've really learned. I call my guides for everything. Literally everything now. It's like, help me. Help me do this. Be with me. Because you're never alone. They are with you. And a lot of times we have to just remember to say, help. Please help me. I'm giving you permission to help me with this. Set intentions. Ask them to help show you the way. We don't need to have all the answers. Once more, all we need to do is be willing to be shown the answers, because there is an answer to every problem. There is a solution to everything you're facing. We just have to be willing to see beyond the fear, beyond the ego, and ask for help. So can you be humble enough to admit sometimes, okay, I don't have the answers. I can't figure it out by myself, and ask for the help you need, okay? So practice discernment, be still, and be at peace, right? This is what we want to cultivate now, peace. So beautiful. So then we move on to surprises and unknown gifts from the universe await. Are you ready to claim them? Things start moving again. Integration of the mind and the spirit. You are one. Make decisions that honor your allegiance to this truth, your integrity. Take integrous action that feels aligned in the body, the mind, and the soul. Ask for help to explore your options. What opportunities are ready to be seized? Okay, so let's stop here for a moment. This is super cool. So we're going to be uncovering some major miracles this week. And they're really kind of showing me that, like, with these major shifts come major miracles, come major change. So keep remembering that. Keep remembering this positive aspect, because you're changing your life by removing these old ways of being. You're living a whole new life, and that means you're going to be miracle-minded. So stay miracle-minded. What new gifts await me? What new surprises are around the bend? Like, see the difference from fearing change to getting excited for change and expecting the best, right? So they're showing me how a lot of us have been waiting for the other shoe to drop. We're like, oh, the old story, here it is again, nothing's working out. They're like, no, stop. That's just propelling that energy. What would you rather? Like, live a love-based life that we know that's what you actually want. So let's do it. Let's make the daily effort. Stay miracle-minded. Get ready. Surprises are coming. Unknown gifts await. Let's get ready to claim them. Let's create the space to bring them in. So, with this in mind, this is the attitude in which we're going to cultivate when making decisions. I'm only going to expect the best from the situation. I'm only going to make decisions that are in alignment with my new truth, which is my integrity and my soul and my body and my mind as one. So I love this. When we're making choices this week, when we're making decisions, make them from this space of complete oneness. So if there's anywhere that you're out of alignment in this decision, check in and go, why? So as an example, they're kind of showing me like the body going, no, I don't want to do this. Okay. Or so say there's a choice you have to make and you know it's the right choice. And you're like, okay, I need to make this decision. But your body's just like, no, I'm not on board. You instantly feel triggered. Your body feels all these sensations of like, stop. Okay. So what is that? Can you take time to go in and go, okay, body, where are you not feeling safe with doing this? Why are we feeling scared of this opportunity or this change or this decision, right? And then also like go through it, like your mind, where's your mind at? How's your mind feel about this decision? What can you do to hold space for your mind and your thought process and your programs and go, okay, where are we not on board? Or why are we not on board with this decision? When your soul's going, yes, right? So check in, like, if your soul's saying yes and your mind and your body are saying no, why? What's going on there? Check in. Why don't I feel safe to do what's right for me? Why am I withholding good from me? Why am I scared of good? Okay, this might be a program that a lot of us start uncovering this week is, what am I afraid of when it comes to claiming good for myself? So some of us are so scared of good happening because whenever good has happened, it's been ripped away from us, as an example. Or we've gotten hurt, as an example. So we have to once more show up in love, comfort ourselves and go, okay, well, I know this is really scary, but this isn't our past. We're not living in our past anymore. We're living in the now, and we're creating a beautiful future that's full of miracles, that's full of happiness and joyful surprises. Like, we're going to do this. So they're really showing me, like, work with your inner child. Take that inner child's hand and go, it's okay. We could do this. And comfort yourself every step, just as if you was your own child. If your child's like, I'm scared, but you know you're going to a park that they're going to love, it's like, well, it's okay. We're going to do this. We can do it. And we're going to take it at your speed. We're going to take it at your time. What do you need? Do you need me to hold you a little while? Do you need me to, talk about your feelings for a little while? What can we do to get you feeling better? Because we know you're going to have such a great time once we're there. Right? So it's like, learn to look at yourself as this scared child when these things happen. Instead of ridiculing yourself, beating yourself up, remember the child in you, the innocence in you that's afraid. And start treating yourself with so much love, with so much compassion. And this is going to change the way you operate in life. And when you change the way you operate, challenges are not going to land the same. You're going to be able to once more be water and flow through the challenges because you're supporting yourself. You're giving yourself what you need every single step. So once more, ask for help. And this is also going to help you feel safe to move forward because some of us need this like validation or like permission given us. They're kind of showing me, like, some of us are like, I won't make a move until I know there's a consensus it's the right move. So some of you, yes, you need to make your own decisions ultimately, but if you're really in doubt, then seek out experts this week that can help you. So as an example, get a trusted friend's advice. Go to your spirit team. Go to your higher self. Okay, and go to God because Source has all the answers. So a lot of us fail to remember God. That's who created you. Source, however you want to see this, it's the essence of love. It's the ultimate form of love that created you. So who better to ask than God? Or who better to ask than your own soul, who is you, right? So go to your higher self, go to your source this week and get those answers. Ask the questions you want to ask. Just see what you get. So many of us have the blinders on. Oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. There's no way I can talk to God and get an answer. There's no way I can talk to my soul and actually get an answer. Where have you just blocked yourself from oneness, from absolute connection to everything that you are connected to? Stop lying. That is a lie, my friend. You got to release it. You can connect. Why couldn't you speak to your divine parent who loves you? You have access to that parent 24/7, all the time. He's speaking through you all the time. Where have you failed to listen? Where have you failed to recognize the voice of God in your life? Start recognizing that voice within yourself and listen. This is where we must practice stillness, listening. And this is what's going to help us take aligned action, because once we've gotten the clarity from our souls and from our path and destiny in that respect, this is going to help us feel more confident in making the decisions we're making. And once we comfort the body and the mind and we get them on board, then we move forward without anything holding you back. Because one thing we have to start recognizing as well is when there's parts of us that are in conflict with our goal, that can slow things down. That can start manifesting other things from these unhealed spaces and parts. So we must take the time. So save yourself some struggles down the road and take the time this week to listen to those unhealed parts that are afraid. Take the time this week to comfort them, to listen to them, get them on board, because then all of you can move forward in complete confidence and in complete love and empowerment in the choices you're making. We must learn to do this. How can you make aligned choices that are the truest form of integrity to yourself? Okay? So, there we go. From healing the inner child, showing it exactly the love it needs, and showing it the gentle care and compassion it's always deserved. This is setting you free. And it was so beautiful because they kept showing me this little child running through the golden fields with the sun coming through, and it was just complete serenity, complete peace, complete freedom. Like, I'm just free to be. I'm free to play. I'm free to frolic. I have no cares, no worries. I'm safe. It was like the most beautiful picture. So this is what we're accomplishing this week, is when we do this work, we're healing ourselves, we're freeing ourselves so we can live this experience. And know that that's possible for you, okay? They really want you to know it is absolutely possible for you to have a peaceful existence, a life that's built in beauty, a life where you feel like that child running free, encased in golden sunlight. Like, can you just give yourself that moment of like, wow, what would that feel like? That's possible for you to be in and capture every single day, if you will it, if you allow it, if you do this work, you can free yourself. So this is what we're doing this week. It's absolutely incredible. And from there it says, this is a momentous time of celebration. Have you celebrated you today? All restrictions are gone. You are rebirthed by light. Seeing your unhealed self and loving them anyway. Seeing there is nothing to fix or change. Seeing they did it and claimed their own glory and worth despite it all. Honor yourself today. So, can you honor the work you've done? Can you honor yourself? Can you give yourself this beautiful validation, even if you're not there yet, even if you're not perfect yet, even if you're not fully healed yet. Can you give yourself the praise for doing the work you've done anyway? Can you look at yourself through these eyes of love today? Can you just give that to yourself? This is what gives this rebirth energy. And I love how they put this. You are rebirthed by light. So that's what you are. So celebrate your light. Celebrate all that you've come through. It's so important to honor yourself this week. So do a little something nice for yourself. I'm really hearing that maybe we've been on this roller coaster. Maybe it's been a lot. Maybe we're emotionally just fried. What can you do to replenish your energy? What can you give yourself? How can you receive this love, these compliments, the support that you need? How can you honor yourself and your journey this week? Set time aside to do that. So then we come to our final theme, which is releasing hope over things lost. Accepting things as they are, not as you wish them to be. Allowing all to be just as it is and prevailing anyway. Maybe not all needs to be what you think it should be. Maybe life can be beautiful now, even in the imperfection. Even when you doubt, heal the heart. Let it be free. Let it receive love now. You can give it to yourself. This was so beautiful. So they really were showing me how there might be things that we cannot change. And we might have this awareness this week. We might come to this truth that maybe there's a problem that can't be fixed. Maybe there's something we have to just let it go and let it be what it is. Maybe there's situations and conflicts that won't come to full resolution, and we have to just build that harmonization and resolution within ourselves, claiming our own peace. And that's what's the true magic here, is in any situation we can claim our own peace. We can claim our own resolution. Even if things seem unsettled or unfinished or incomplete or imperfect, we can still live life anyway. We can still prevail anyway. And having the openness, because they're really showing me how we have to have the open-mindedness to life just being life sometimes, and allowing things to just be without trying to fix it, without trying to change it. Like, could you imagine how much more peaceful your life would be if we removed this expectation of it needs to be done my way, or it needs to be done this way, or it needs to be perfect? What if we could just allow, right? How can we just accept, right? How much stress would we be removing from our shoulders if we just let the process of life be what it is? So I'm really hearing this week, release the things that you know are done. And I think this is really summed up with releasing hope over things lost. We need to stop holding on to any hope with certain aspects. And I know this sounds very counterintuitive, but having self-respect and self-love sometimes requires this action of releasing whatever we hoped would be and accepting the truth that it won't be now. So we can now be open for something new. So this might look like your past. This might look like certain relationships in your life, and you're coming to this realization that, okay, this isn't going to work. And it sucks, and it's hard. And we might have to honor the toughness of that this week. But when we reclaim our power and allow ourselves to prevail and move on anyway, and just allowing it to be what it is, we really do take this leadership role. We really do start taking these actions in self-love and respect, and they're showing me how that builds our vibration so high. It raises our vibration so high, because no matter what, we're going, okay, that's okay. I'm still going to be okay. I can still do this. I can still live a loving life filled with joy, filled with happiness. And it's okay if I'm sad. It's okay if I need some closure, but I can give that to myself now. And I love how they put this, like, maybe life can be beautiful now, even in the imperfection. So focus on your heart. Give it what it needs. Let it receive the love it needs in every situation. Give it the comfort it needs in every situation. And this is helping you once more claim this parent role of reparenting yourself, of showing you the love and comfort and support you truly always needed and always deserved. And they're showing me how this is actually propelling a lot of us to take on this leadership in the sense of helping others as well. So teaching others how to love and showing others the way by our example. So what channeled, you won't be the same again. You will show others a new way. Be the light. That is your mission. Isn't that beautiful? So be the light. Be love. And if anything, remind yourself of that all this week. How can I be my light? How can I share my light? How can I be love? Right? That's all you have to do. And remember, that applies to yourself. How can I be loving to myself today? How can I show up for myself today? How can I be the light for myself today? And watch as your life magically transforms. So friends, what an amazing reading. I really hope it resonates for you. I hope it gives you the comfort and those reminders to stay strong. You've got this. We're forging a brand new life for ourselves, a brand new way of living, even as a collective. And we should all take a moment this week to be so proud of what we are creating, to be so proud of who we've stepped into, to who we've become. You know, give yourself that this week. Celebrate yourself for everything you've done, because you've done so much. You've been the miracle that you've been asking for. And isn't that the most beautiful thought? That you yourself gave that to yourself. You claimed this new life for yourself. You were the miracle that you were praying for. It's absolutely amazing. So celebrate yourself and all that you give to this world. You are so valuable. You are so deserving. And I'm sending so much love from my heart to yours. So a little final message for this week is I am planning to do a beautiful little Sacred Soul gathering that is going to be a pay what you can event this next week. And I'll be putting some posts on social media about this, but it's going to be a soul gathering around healing the inner child. And it'll be a virtual event where we'll be going through a meditation and going through some journaling together and having some time to just share and have a beautiful gathering of like-minded souls. So if this calls to you, please reach out to me. I'll leave the information below. I'll leave the access to my social media pages where you can see all the details if this calls to you. But I felt like this would be such a beautiful and supportive gathering that I could do for others. And for myself too, because I find these things are so healing for me as well, especially throughout this week when there's such a focus on release work and healing and working with that inner child. So please reach out if this calls. I would love to see you there. Sending so much love and light. Bye-bye.